Welcome back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and I apologize for that interruption in our stream. We are looking to get going right about now, I think, for the action, the racing action, that is. So there it is, the track reset. And I expect the race to get underway shortly indeed. What happened to weather systems there? That's poor luck indeed. Yeah, welcome back to the living stream, the one that's alive. We're back to life. I am back. I am back. My worst Arnie impression. And it's about to get hot in here. 20 years ago, I cannot believe that it's almost 20 years ago. Nearly released Hot in Here. Well, it's not. It's like 18 years ago. I guess we got weather systems back. That's good. And I think by now we are getting close indeed to race start. Time to go racing. It is. Oh, the excitement is building as well. Well, the stream looks better. That's nice to hear. Let's hope that it's all fixed this time around. Then. It would be nice if we had some kind of spectator camera that we can walk around. For example, do a grid walk, or not a grid walk, a pit walk. Final visibility check. Well, I think 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It looks all good to me. So all problems getting worked on here and worked over. I think we are about to get racing by now. I think all the drivers at least are lined up and ready. And we're about to get the formation lap, then 66 laps of racing. That equates to 300 kilometers of Fuji. The first round of the VRR Super GT Season 6. Just about to get underway. 203 laps. And I'm sure to lose my voice if that's what's up. Oh, this is not. I'm trying to type something on the PC with the PS keyboard. So here it is, the final has begun. The race is just about to get underway. And with that, here is the grid order right there on screen. GT Racer in front of Flash and Angel, that's the top 3 in the 500 class. And then it's somehow Someone seems to be missing, I'm afraid. And that's Antares somehow not being here. I don't. Oh. Yeah. So that's then the question: is there going to be a restart for this one since Antares just left? Oh, rest in peace. And there is going to be a restart. It has been aborted. Thanks, PD. We like it. We love it when we've got Swaplu joining us, and yet again rooting for CJ. Nice to see. And yeah, Rapid Gator. We had Antares, the pole setter in the GT300 class, disconnecting on race start, I think. And I was just waiting for him to rejoin, and then. And then we can get attempt to get the race underway yet again. Good evening to everyone just joining in right about now. We've just have had our first formation lap start cancelled because we're lucky enough that Antares lost connection, and he's I would suppose he's on his way back in after a connection resetting. Restarting the PS4, I would also imagine, and then hopping back in the lobby. And I expect to see him here in a short matter of time. And I think Rabbit Gator, I think there's hardly time to poop now. I don't think there is actually, because Antares is back. The grid, I think, is set from before. I think he just needs to be put back in on pole in the 300s, and then we will be good to go this time around. Hopefully we can get everyone along. This is getting quite the nuisance, I have to say. PD, goddammit. The would be a very good time for the pit crew to have their cake now, but what should they have later then? What if they get hungry, and you wouldn't want them to sugar crash as well, to get all high on the blood sugar now, and then to just completely crash and then be completely off when they have to do their work later on in the pits. Does Dirten have any alcohol on standby? I don't. I would have bought a couple of beers. I was out cycling with Trals earlier today. We did about just over 80 kilometers together with another friend of ours, and just didn't get around to it. So I have listed here. I have water, I have coffee, and I have Coca-Cola as well, but no alcohol. Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. Perhaps we should try other streamers having lag issues because of FIA reasons. Yeah, that might be that the servers are busy. But is there a... Oh yeah, it's of course Saturday, so we do have the fierce, the ridiculous tire show that is the FIA races. Coffee will indeed do. Coffee is a very good it's a very good thing for making you talk a lot, as it's perfect for me to have to do. Let's hope we get everyone with us this time around. Oh, he's out. I think he's off yet again, if I'm not. Yeah, he is. There is no Antares. And then the question is, what's the decision? What shall happen? Well, I never really, yet another one. So, there is a saying, an old saying in Danish, the third time will be your lucky time. Let us hope, for F's sake, that it turns out to be true for this one as well, so we can actually get the racing going, because this is turning out to be a little bit frustrating. And goddammit, indeed. Third time's the charm, of course, is the saying in English. It's the case that most, at least with these like general sayings, that it comes from some language, and then over time it's been translated. It's gotten its way around in all sorts of other languages. CJ being told to shut up by Angel reminds me of a meme that I've been wanting to do for a very, very long time. Which is like, you could do many of them from the GTA San Andreas missions, where you as CJ drive around with a rider in the passenger seat, and rider complaining about your driving. Hey, where you learn to drive, CJ? Fool. All you had to do was drive the damn car, CJ. All that stuff it would be. Yeah, a round of drinks on Antares is if it doesn't work here. Do we see 15? Yes, we see him. 15. We better hop in and spectate as well. Time to let Fred Dude in. I think Fred Dude is competing in the 500 class, and that's exactly what Tetsu notes as well. And I'm not even that well in the VRR rules yet. There's, to be honest, quite a complicated rule book, and I will get my head around it in due time at some point after reading it all through a couple more times, I think. This time, everyone, let's put our minds together and focus our energy for this server to let Antares race with the rest of us, please. Shows up fine here, as it also did before with 15 drivers. This time around, Antares in last position, but they will be able to sort that out. So this time around, let's see, 15 drivers. Third time is the charm, indeed. And the formation lap is underway for the 300 kilometers of Fuji. The 500s, the 300s. A grandiose shot here of both classes as they leave the line. Tires getting warmed up. Now the thing is Antares gonna be penalized and be starting last? That might just be, I'm not quite sure actually. That'll leave CJ in pole position, of course. So until now it seems that Noir Antares will be starting last. Although I could be proven to be wrong on that one. So let's go through the race orders. I was just about to say race orders, but it isn't actually the race order, is it? It's more the grid order. And it is GT Racer on pole position in the GT500s in front of Flash. It's Angel third, Cross 24, the two Black Rose racing cars. Third and fourth on the grid. NASCAR Fan in the NSX, the first of the NSXs in fifth position, with the Street King in the second of those in sixth. Then in the 300 class, at least as it seems, second qualifier CJ has been moved up due to the connection issues of Antares. Antares, who seems to be starting last, still not sure on that one. He might be rolling through at the end. I am not quite sure, but please don't hold me up on anything. Last to first challenge is indeed go. At least he has 66 laps to make up for it. But it's CJ in front of the A-team. It's Weather Systems third, with Formidable in fourth. It's the Black Rose cars of Damon and Ledford in fifth and sixth. It's GTP race car in seventh, with Drifter eighth, and as the aforementioned Antares, who really has the pace, but been struggling with connection issues here, is starting last. Flag. It's because of connection issues. I think he failed to be able to enter the lobby, and now he's last and hasn't been able to get respite for it. So we have the 500 grid lining up for the start here. And it's gonna be green, green, green in just a matter of moments. The 6-car field just about to get away. We have 3 Nissan GTRs, a single Lexus, and 2 Honda NSXs. That single Lexus, although on pole position in the hands of GT Racer. And they are green on the way down towards turn 1. Let's see. Hopefully they get it away cleanly. It's NASCAR Fan ducking and diving already up into third position. It's going to be more or less 3 wide, I think. Coming into turn 1, it's going to be quite deep for GT Racer. Oh, almost spins around, but keeps it on track. There might have been a little bit of contact, and we're going to go back to the 300 class here as CJ leads the 300 class down the start-finish straight. And it's going to be a good big battle here for second position, I think. Weather Systems seems to get a very good run in the Lexus. It is Audi leading, Subaru, and then Lexus second and third, and then Mercedes with 3 Mercedes, 3 big bunch of Mercedes. I think also Antares having made up a position, and a number of cars going wide. We see the Flash now leading in the 500 class. GT Racer, Street King, NASCAR Fan, Cross, and Angel down in 6th position. Doesn't look too good for the Black Rose Racing here in the GT500s. Very close here. Let's go on board with Angel for a moment. Just a damage check. There is a little bit of front aero damage, so they haven't managed to get completely cleanly away. That is, of course, a shame to see. And thanks for clearing that one out, Tetsu. As I just mentioned before, there are still rules that I haven't read, that one being one of them. Now we have a prime view for the battle here for 4th position at the moment. Down the start-finish straight as Angel's gonna make a move on the NSX of Street King. Although she just thinks twice about that one, I think. The Flash beginning to disappear out in front. And then GT Racer in 2nd position. Let's just have a damage check through the 500 field. There's been a slight tap to the rear end of GT Racer. Might be what's costing time on that account. NASCAR Fan in 3rd, though, has gotten cleanly away. Let's have a look back with the GT300 action. It's CJ and the A-team having broken away already from the rest of the pack. Those two very close in together at the moment. In 3rd, it's Formidable holding on. Weather System seems to go wide there, and Antares really being a fast mover on his way up through the field. That's impressive stuff. He's up into 4th position, having started in 9th and last. Truly impressive stuff. Let's have another look at the start for the GT500 class. Let's go on board with Street King starting in 6th. It's going to be an excellent view of proceedings down towards turn 1, and perhaps a better view of what happened. I think there was that contact between Angel and GT Racer. And our Angel pitting in to fix the damage. And that's going to be so to say. There's going to be a lot of making up. Oh, as Cross gets it quite wrong. Street King moving up to 4th position. And before anything else, let's just have another look with the 300 field and their start as well. And we are going to be viewing that, why not, from the viewpoint of Antares here, starting in final position. Evening snippy, and turn 1 was interesting indeed. Let's see if the GT300 turn 1 was just as interesting. Hopefully we can have pictures all the way up through. Just want to be able to have a look at the battle up in front there. This is from GTP race car, really snugs that inside line. There's Drifter on the outside, and Tara's now moving up in front, but it seems to be a very orderly, clean start for the 300s indeed. So current situation, the Flash is leading NASCAR Fan by just over 2 seconds. GT Racer in 3rd, still carrying that damage to the rear end, a little bit of aero damage after that turn 1 exit contact between himself and Angel. Cross 24 in 4th position after having a bit of an off, well, more or less here actually, or just on the entrance to this long sweeper that is turn 3. Or, excuse me, it was of course here on the exit from turn 4, but at least it was on the last lap. It's been put off a little bit by that Street King in 5th. 10 seconds down on race leader, and then Angel, of course, further 15 seconds down, having made that pit stop. Then in the 300s, it's still very close between the Subaru of the A-Team and CJ. In behind, it's Antares, already up in 3rd position in class. Hugely impressive. Weather Systems 4th. It's Formidable in 5th at the moment. With this we see the first bit of spreading out happening between the 500 cars, and that also is very natural given the dirty air that these high downforce machines produce. It makes it very difficult to sit close in behind the car in front, and in turn it also just accelerates any tire wear if you have to keep up with the car in front with what in turn will be just less downforce, less efficient downforce. So these small spreads, indeed very natural to see. Replicator Tetsu being absolutely on fire with the comments there. That's even quicker than I can react to it. Let's go back with the lead battle in the GT300 class. Let's go on board with the Canadians at the A-Team. Or the Canadian, that is, the A-Team. Still just hanging on behind CJ. CJ missing the apex on the entrance to turn 4. And that in turn does compromise the run out a little bit. The problem of the Subaru here, I would expect, is that the Audi is, I think at least under most conditions, faster in a straight line than what the Subaru is. The Subaru should be better through the corners. and could also turn out to be better on tires in the long run, but that in the end more I think comes down to driving style ultimately and car setup, since as far as that is allowed, you can really do a lot with that as well. It's around 5 seconds down to Antares in 3rd position. And then a little bit of a gap down to Weather Systems as well. And then I think there is a bit of a bunch up behind with Ledford, Formidable, and Race Car as well, with Damon as well in there in the mix. And with that ×1 or neutral wear, I think as it's called, it is whatever makes most sense. And it's there's an Audi into the pits, and that's Drifter with rear aero damage, having to get that fixed. That's poor luck indeed. We're gonna rejoin the battle for what is effectively a 4th position in class, 5th position more or less, with a couple of cars close, although it doesn't seem at the moment really close enough that we're gonna have that red hot action. And also at the moment the front running 500s are closing up on Drifter, who just came out of the pits and is now a bit away back on the rest of the 300 field. So we're gonna have the first bit of lapping action. 4 seconds is the gap from the Flash down to NASCAR Fan. GT Racer still running with that damage, and might be the best idea as well, if in turn the pace isn't affected more than what we've seen so far. It's probably able to, it's something they'll be able to live with, I think. Cross 24 making a solid return. Still top 4 in the 500 class, separated by just over 6 seconds, so it's still quite close here, as we are on what's effectively the end of lap 7. GT Racer gets it a little squirmy, and then I think manages to miss the apex on the entrance to the final corner, sliding out, suffering from the aero damage on behind there, and that's in turn made it possible for Cross 24 to move up into 3rd position, gaining podium spots and also gaining time, it seems, on the Flash at the moment, and on NASCAR Fan, gaining massively here in that braking zone. And that's of course because NASCAR Fan made his way through on that Audi. And now, oh, what is that? Drifter is off. And let's have a look at what happened. We're gonna go to the wang cam. There's a hot battle coming in behind. Oh, already there's contact between Drifter and Cross. And that's a long way off, almost getting all the way out there into the gravel trap. That's damage for Drifter. It's sure gonna be damage for Cross as well. Let's just have another look from the perspective of that GT500 Nissan of Cross. Not the best of starts for Black Rose Racing. GT Racer does a good job of staying clear of that. Cross not pitting in yet. That's a little bit of surprise to me, I think. But only aero damage there, so no engine damage. It could be worse, and that it's gonna be a penalty. Tetsu, I have a feeling that that you're right. And what poor luck for Drifter. Just having exited, this was pretty much on the outlap that this happened. It really couldn't be much worse at all. And they could even be finding themselves a lap down on the rest of the field by now. The Flash is lapping more traffic. I think it's Damon up in front. Things are looking a little... Ooh, as it gets squirmy here through that opening bit of the final sector for Flash. Also losing a little bit of time at the moment. It's down to 2.8 seconds. That looked a little nervous. NASCAR fan in the NSX, keeping it cool, gaining through traffic. It seems GT Racer was very close to getting caught up in that mishap before between Cross and Drifter. And there's Damon pitting in, I think, if I'm not completely mistaken, from 8th position in the 300 class. Let's see, it's rear suspension and aero damage, so there might have been some contact with the traffic as well. Replicated driving, drivers not paying attention. Well, I'm not sure. I think they're doing their best. As it's grown to just around 3 seconds now, so the Flash has gained a couple of tenths back. Now running into more traffic, it seems, in front. And in the 300 class leaders battle, well, CJ by now has pulled away from the A team, and CJ has done a good job of doing exactly that. The Subaru, I think, now suffering on top speed. And Tara is still third, but hasn't really been able to gain on the two leaders. He's just around 6 seconds down on the A team in second. Weather system still pretty close. Leadfoot in 5th position in class, also close to the action indeed. As here is the Flash into turn 1, having gained nicely again on NASCAR fan, but such is the ways of multi-class racing. Traffic giveth and traffic taketh. Traffic at times very much taketh, as we've already seen. But it is also what makes these kind of races so unpredictable, that it can go like that all the way to the line. GT Racer, who set the pole time in the 500 class, but hasn't been the luckiest soul for the opening 11 laps of racing, in 3rd position at the moment. Cross 24. Same can pretty much be said for the black of the two Black Rose Racing GT500 cars, the Cola Zero car here. Street King in 5th, and Angel making up time, overall down by 20 seconds. But that early pit stop, I am afraid, is gonna cost. It usually is a costly affair. So we will have to see, and that is also, of course, why GT Racer is insisting on staying out, even though there is a little bit of damage to the Lexus. Man, it will be interesting to see if he can pick up the pace on the following stint, when they've all been in for the first time. And not because we're going to be looking at tires all night, but it's not a lot of wear we're seeing left. So is that? What about fuel? Just about how much? Could be basically, we could be looking at drivers being able to do a one-stop here if careful enough on the tires. Here's GT Racer making their way safely through. And I think that was Leadfoot. No, that was Formidable, of course. Joining on board with the GT300 Lexus. I think Lexus the only manufacturer to have cars racing in both classes. I was just looking to see where the car of Cross were, but just snuck through on the inside as I was looking back. Good pace, seems steady for Formidable. And the gap down to race car behind is 10.4 seconds, so that's also it's also a nice situation to be in with no apparent pressure from behind. The Setma 1 Lexus, the other GT300 Lexus driven by Weather Systems, in 4th position in class at the moment. 3.5 seconds down on a Noir in front, so it could in turn quickly develop into something here, but I think drivers taking a steady and saying that drivers are taking a steady approach to this. It was wild and hefty indeed for the start of the 500s, but since then we've seen things settle into an orderly fashion. The gap status quo between the Flash and NASCAR fan, just around 4 seconds, where it seems to be hovering. Swapper John indeed. CJ pulling away in the 300 class. GT Racer 7 seconds down on class leader and overall leader, the Flash. And it's around 3.5 seconds both up and down to the cars around. Here is Street King being caught by Angel. Now it's under 2 seconds. So Angel seems to be on a very good pace. She's absolutely flying. And she's closed a big deal of that gap as well, because it was over 20 seconds the last time we looked. Someone's had a big detour. And was that Leadfoot in the number 8 car? It was indeed Leadfoot going wide, and then we could see being very careful not to have any contact there between team cars, between Black Rose Racing cars. Angel doing a good job. Look at that. The gap up to Street King in 5th position is just diminishing quickly, and probably a lot quicker than Street King would like to. Back on board with Angel for the technical final section. Seems very focused. The Honda sliding about. How much is how much gain can there be made? Much more composed exit as well. Well within slipstreaming as well. Slipstreaming distance. Although I think I was just about to say I think it's too far down to make any kind of move. I'm gonna eat my words, because here comes Angel in the move for 5th position. And I think that's gonna be hard to defend. Ooh, that's a bit of turning in early from Street King. Hope that isn't any damage to any of the cars. After that little bit of argy-bargying, there is none, so that's good to see, but probably just a slight misunderstanding. Let's see if we can catch it from the... Oh, just too late. Should have been quicker on the response there. Indeed, a little bit of contact by the NSX. That's a good one. That's a good one. 3D stock photo penguin. I remember having laughed about that username before. I think it's bloody brilliant. So Angel, that cost a little bit of time. A little bit of the time gained on the Flash and the other leaders as well. She's making really good progress at the moment. Let's check back in with CJ, the lead, by being 4.2 seconds. So it really is being extended for the Mad Greek. who's now leading proceedings in the GT300 class. It's GT Racer coming up from behind, about to make the pass on the GT300 leader. As we're effectively on 6, at least for CJ's sake here, we expect the 300s to end up doing, what would that be, 62 laps? I think. Expect. It could be different. It could be 1 over, 1 under. We'll have to see. Safe passage there for the GT Racer. That's good to see. CJ just trying to get every bit of slipstream possible to gain a little bit of time back. Here's Antares also caught up in traffic, and that's a hot battle. That is the battle for 5th position still. Oh, Street King just getting left out on the outside on the way down to the chicane. Late braking from the Scotsman and the NSX. Let's go on board with the Street King indeed. So far able to keep it within a second, within slipstream distance. I think that advantage might just be lost through the final corner this time around. Seems very aggressive driving, but still the NSX of Angel just gets the run and is now making her way into the distance. Cross pitting in. First stop. And here on lap 16 it is early on as well, but we could see that it might just be the only stop it's gonna have. It might just be that one stopper with an early stop. Could be possible, even though it is gonna be some tired softs, I think, by the end of the race. So cross back out, that's in 6th position. And that's left Angel, of course, in 4th. Street Kings having caught up. Street King having caught up. That's as they are making their way past the A-team. And they're, of course, making their way up towards CJ now. He's going to be a couple of seconds out in front. Yeah, Snippy, and I didn't even think about how much of a bad pun it was. So, it truly was a horrible pun. Perhaps the unluckiest of the drivers so far, I'd say Antares. Of course, alongside Drifter, who's not been anywhere near lucky as well, but all those connection issues placing him last on grid, that is indeed poor luck. Good job on having fought back and now sitting there in 3rd in class, but also having lost a little time. I think he's about 10 seconds down on class leader CJ, and make that 6.5 seconds on the A-team in the Subaru in front. It's been gaining on weather systems in 4th as well. Oh, safety car. And there's there has been some kind of disconnect, I'm afraid. So Damon pitting in. Let's see, pit action might be coming off hot. So we actually get to see a safety car period. And was that a mass disconnect? I think I saw CJ signing in for mass disconnect. That MD, isn't that right, Tetsu? In the 500 class we have Angel, NASCAR fan, and of course GT Racer. That makes good sense to pit in. CJ pitting in. He's collected some damage. OMD is of course mechanical damage. And that's been the retirement for Drifter, of course. So poor luck for Drifter today. It's just been a fest of bad luck from the off. And we haven't seen what happened here, but that's of course one thing I should do. The moment we see a safety car call, let's hit the replay button so we can catch the action. And that's a mental note to myself for next time round. So let's see. We've had a 3-car crash, and let's see how it shapes up. So it's 100 kilometers an hour here. The flash pitting in, that's perhaps a little late. And the fueling done. Would expect that to be the final necessary pit stop. NASCAR fan. Did they pit before? I think they did pit before. Let's just see. Yeah, that 156 must certainly be a pit stop lap. Can't really imagine otherwise. Of course, it should be a slow lap with the safety car deployed, but I think here is Damon in the 84 car being led through on some of the traffic as well. He's with his indicators on, and that's probably just to indicate that he's passed through the leading 500 cars. Formidable is pitting in as well, leading here. But still yet to form up the entire field, so safety cars still out. Tires being kept warm. Here is the 2 leading 500 cars. That is NASCAR fan in the lead now, in front of the Flash. And then in behind it is leading 300 car. It is the A-team in the Subaru. CJ now in second position in the 300 field. So a little bit of switching around caused by this 3-car incident. And it's also worked out very well for GT Racer, who will now be right back in the action after having that damage repaired. Still sitting third, pretty much perfect. Angel also able to get back on level terms with the rest of the 500 field. Very lucky for CJ indeed, although he does lose position of track space. And then the standings in the 300 field as follows. Well, as mentioned before, it is the A-team leading in the Subaru WRX. It's CJ second, Ledford in third in the number 9, Black Rose Racing, Tissot, Mercedes AMG GT3 car. And Taris, see in that accident, could imagine. Down in 4th in class. In 5th it's Weather Systems. In 6th it's Formidable. In 7th position it's Race Car, and down in 8th it's Damon, still catching up to the rest of the field. So the GT500s are now being called to the front of the car queue here, the safety car line. They're going to be overtaking the 300s to form up as they're supposed to. And here it is. And as we have this safety car period, good evening to everyone who's just joined in. A very warm welcome to this opening round of the Virtual Reality Racing Super GT Season 6. The first season, the first bit of racing to be broadcast live from the VRR. And we are, of course, both happy and proud to have this action here on the channel. Great to have some weekend action going on. Great to have it on Saturday nights. Great to have it multiclass, I must say. So far, this race certainly has delivered on action. Although it has been in the sense it's the kind of drama that we don't always want to see, because it has been somewhat dramatic with a couple of accidents already here throughout the first third of the race. So the field is now getting bunched up ever so slowly, ever so steadily. There's Damon in the 84 car catching up and making a pit stop. And that's a little beyond my understanding. What is he coming in for here? There's fresh tires going on, but it seemed like he already had pretty fresh rubber on. Damon rejoins with a full tank. And a lag called from the number 2 machine. And yes, Rapid Gator, pitting under safety car is very much allowed, as we've seen most of the field pitting under this safety car period. Now the field is bunched up together, and I think we're about to have the racing rejoin. And of course, I should mention that if you like what we do here on Half the Race Gone, please hit the like button, and feel free to subscribe to the channel, and to hit that bell icon at the side to get notified whenever we do something live on the channel. It's been a great pleasure, I have to say, bringing you this race so far, and something that I've been looking forward to for the couple of weeks leading up to it. It's had a feel of something different. Of course, also our first joint venture with an American race organizer as well. So the safety car is still not being called in. NASCAR fan really being an avid tire warmer here, but of course it is quite important to keep the temperature in the tires. But there it is, I think racing action is very much back on, as the 500 field now makes their way down towards turn 1. Angel up into 3rd position on the outside of GT Racer. I'm not quite sure that's going to be a possible one, but it is. And in turn, just being pulled off, that is a brilliant one. And these Ledford up into 3rd, and Taris having lost a position for the restart here. A-Team holding on to 1st, but with CJ right on the tail of the grid, coming in with a move through on the sweeper here. There's a little bit of a nudge. That might be looked upon later from the race stewards, because there certainly was a little bit of a push from CJ in between. Now Angel up into 2nd position. That is absolutely brilliant stuff. The 500 field really hot on the action here. Angel getting an absolutely brilliant restart. The Flash in 3rd position. GT Racer down into 4th. It's Cross in 5th and Street King 6th at the moment. Let's just have a look at what happened there through turn 1. Let's go on board with Angel, because that move, look at that, getting through on the outside, that is brilliant indeed. So it's heating up here. This time the Flash might just try to send it on Angel for 2nd position, but thinks twice about it. Mechanical damage for Leadfoot now. Leadfoot was 3rd in class, so that's less than lucky, I suppose. That leaves Antares 3rd. CJ still leading in front of the A team. Let's just see if we can still capture what happened for Leadfoot. No, it was, of course, a bit late. It might just have been a tap through the final sector. But it's not enough, it seems, to call out the safety car yet again. And evening, welcome to the stream, Drifter. So sad to see your luck turn out so poorly for tonight's race. I mean, getting damage, pitting in, and then having that incident with 2 of the GT500s on the outlap yet again. That is, to put it mildly, demoralizing, I think. And yeah, really a shame to see what's happened to Angel. She's down to 4th position. GT Racer having made his way past. The battle is hot, going on board with the Lexus. The Flash doing everything, it seems, to defend, and doing well. It's grabbing the inside line. Oh, that's a little nudge. Oh, that's a hard place. I think that might cost, yeah. As Angel moves up through on the outside after GT Racer getting on that AstroTurf, which is just so slippery, it's so easy to lose it. It is indeed snippy, with the exception of that braking zone into turn 1 where you can make moves. I think for the 500s it's a difficult place to overtake because of the dirty air that's in play. And evening to Pinkery as well. I hope you've been enjoying your weekend so far, and that of course goes for everyone watching here tonight. They're so close after 25 laps because we've just had a safety car period following a 3-car accident, and we've already had another car pick up damage, but I'd say luckily, because it would be a shame to pick up another safety car period already so soon. But the action certainly close as we go on board yet again with GT Racer. It's just about a second, or half a second more or less. It's 7/10 actually down to Cross, but it's very close up to Angel in front. Oh, there's a little bit more than a little bit of contact. That is quite a deal of contact. Oh, GT Racer having suffered a lot of damage. Here there is mechanical damage for GT Racer, and yet again, huge contact between GT Racer and Angel. I don't know what happened there. This is the replay. We're just gonna have a second look on board with Angel here. Safety car deployed yet again. So that's another car in behind. I think that's Cross also picking up damage and being the car who pushed GT Racer wide. That is the first virtual safety car indeed on half the race gone. And we've just had our second virtual safety car being deployed. A very chaotic race at the moment, and several cars really having been struck by, well, both bad luck and perhaps also a little bit of misunderstandings. I don't know what... Yeah, it's only a virtual safety car indeed, Pinkery. Otherwise, I think I'd have to be the safety car driver, and that'd be... I mean, we could do that, but I don't know what happened to Angel on that corner exit. She was going very slowly indeed. But I would also say that with the safety car being called, the reaction would be slow down. I think that is why Angel slowed down. I think that could be what caused the crash. The thing is that you'd expect all the drivers to slow down in that situation, I think, but it was indeed a little bit odd. Nevertheless, it has called out the safety car yet again. It is another opportunity for all the drivers to refuel and get all that stuff sorted out. And here, after 26 laps, I guess it would be possible to put on some tires that could be meant to last for the rest of the way. Evening to Kyle Smith. Welcome to the stream. I don't remember having seen your name in chat before, so if it's your first time around, a warm welcome to Have the Race Gone to you as well. The number 2 car lagging a bit. The flash, but it's nothing that we see on our screen here. So on our part, it is all good. The 500 field boxing up here. CJ, oh, what happened to... Now, I have to check out something because A-Team, I think they must have pitted in around here, and that means that I think CJ perhaps has not pitted in on the last lap. He certainly hasn't, and that is of course why he is leading. We'll have to see if others in the 300 field is gonna do this safety car period without pitting. Might end up really playing into the hands of CJ in this situation, because you see Cross just making his way through. But anyway, putting well, that's now Antares up into second. It's Formidable in third at the moment. They could be pitting in. Then it's Weather Systems fourth, and then in fifth position is in class the A-Team, who certainly was up there battling now. But yeah, indeed, an odd incident. It's going to be at the back of the field now for Weather Systems. We're actually managing to... Nope, I thought they were just going to be in front of Leadfoot. But no. So race leader, overall leader, NASCAR fan, who's done a very good job of... keeping his car clean. If you see, there's no marks of contact upon that NSX. The Hondas that in both practice and qualifying didn't really have the pace, yet they found the consistency to run at the front, even without the safety car period here. And I have to say, I think it's been a very good job so far from NASCAR fan in the number 80 Honda NSX. The anime NSX, and I know nothing about anime, so I can tell you Jackass about about who that character is and from what series, cartoon, show, whatever. I have no clue. Anyway, the Flash sitting second in the Red Bull GTR. Then in third, it is Street King, the Scotsman, in the other NSX, the Exidy NSX. Angel fourth at the moment, then Cross fifth in the two other GTRs, and GT Racer at the bottom of the 500 field now. It's really been up and down for GT Racer, who, mind you, was on pole in the sole Lexus entry for this race, although with the number of entrants, we have a very big field for the VRR, with the, of course, being the system being that the full-time drivers, the full-time entries are given first priority, and then there is a list of part-time entries. that take place and fill out the spots of the full-time entries that aren't able to make a given race. And it's making for very well-attended races, and that is something we love to see here on the channel. The racing is back online. We have another green flag being given. We're on board with the GT Racer for the restart with the panorama view of the action in front. It's cross up the inside. Oh, a little bit of a tap from GT Racer. Certainly not enough to cause damage, but close it was in the other class. In the 300 class, CJ leads Antares Formidable and race car, GTP race car with A team in 5th. Damon in 6th position at the moment. Mechanical damage for CJ. Oh, and I think he's made his way off massively here. Same goes for GT Racer. And I think we just didn't catch what happened for CJ. Let's have another look here. On board with the Mad Greek, who will certainly be angry about this. Oh, he hits the wall out there. That's a big way out. Oh, CJ. And the question is, of course, will we see yet another safety car period? We have 2 cars with damage at the time being. I think 3 is the limit, so it might be that we're not gonna have a safety car period yet again, and that most certainly is gonna be a huge problem for both CJ and GT Racer. Cross entering the pits as well. So that is actually 3 cars, but we haven't seen any message of a safety car deployment. That's gonna be a big hit for the chances of both CJ and these 2 GT500 cars of GT Racer and Cross. It's still NASCAR Fan consistently leading Flash and Angel in 3rd position. Not a big time margin, whatever. It's just half a second down to Flash, but seems they're not really under any rush. Here is CJ, and that is the car being repaired for the last of it. Rejoining track now, a full tank of fuel, but he finds himself at the bottom of the 300 field. Last car running on track at the moment, and 30 seconds down on the nearest competitor. Although if he keeps the car clean, close to half the race gone here, he will probably be able to keep the car running to the line from here. It's not all over yet. CJ will just have to keep on fighting, but it is very poor luck indeed. So going on board with Angel in the Coca-Cola GTR. There's a good battle going on up in front with the Flash on the outside of the NSX of NASCAR Fan, making the move into turn 1. And that is the Flash gaining 1st position. Let's have another look. As the Kiwi gets a really good run on the NSX, and there's no stopping it this time around. Well in front, already into the braking zone, keeps it tidy on the apex, and takes the lead. Purple lap time at the moment here. Angel getting squirmy on that exit, but also getting very close, or was in turn getting very close, because he got a bad exit and is now lost some of that time gained in that situation. It's Street King in front of GT Racer and Cross, who lost a lot of time in their pit stops, of course. And would you believe it, it is now the man who set pole time in the 300 field, then had connection issues, started last. That last to first challenge is looking very good for Antares, who is now leading in the GT300 field in front of Formidable, and the A team down into 3rd position, but that is of course more or less up into 3rd position because they were 5th after having pitted under the last and the 2nd safety car, whilst most of the 300 field didn't. in 4th position at the moment. Oh, it's a 3rd position for A-Team, 4th race car with Leadfoot in 5th. Leadfoot still, no, not running with damage at all. And then in behind there's a good battle there between Weather Systems and Damon. Damon getting past on the final corner, but is it gonna be possible to keep that position all the way down to the line? Let's hop on board with Weather Systems as they're completely side by side. It's a perfect opportunity to turn that camera around. Makes the move on the inside. Are we gonna see a cutback from Damon? Well, he attempts it, but Weather Systems pulls out that one, pulls it off perfectly, and gains that position indeed. And Tara is now on a personal best. Formidable holding off A-Team at the moment. These safety car periods, these 2 safety car periods really having shaken the race to its foundations. It's been a bomb thrown into the race standings, and it's all changed. As a matter of fact, this time the A-Team, I think, might just have a really good run on the Lexus in front. Let's go on board with the Canadian. Moves up the inside. A good run with the slipstream. And of course, this is the battle for 2nd position. Oh, that wasn't what I meant to do at all here. Gets the braking point somewhat right, but opens up the inside door for the cutback, but that doesn't manifest at all. And in turn, Subaru back up into 2nd position in the GT300 class. The Flash has built a lead of just around a second at the moment. Gets a good run onto the start-finish straight. Angel has yet to make a move materialize on NASCAR Fan for that 2nd position, but just within half a second, it's by no means impossible. But I have a feeling that we have yet to see the last action of this race. I don't think it is over yet by any means. As we're just over halfway through the race, there's still quite a lot of racing to do. And of course, these 2 safety car periods are gonna prolong the race itself time-wise, but no worries on that account. Street King here is 4th at the moment, a little bit on an island with 3.5 seconds up to Angel and the leading trio. In turn, 14.7 seconds down to GT Racer in 5th. Cross even further behind, 9.2 seconds, and in all half a minute down on race leader The Flash. And Taris has built a solid lead by now of 6.8, almost 7 seconds down to Formidable. Still holding on to 2nd position in front of the Subaru. Well, he's actually, there's been a switcheroo because Formidable has gotten back in front of the Subaru of the A-Team. And I think that might very well have been a carbon copy of whatever move we saw, or of the move we saw the A-Team pull off here. Now the Canadian is up the inside here into the final sector with the Lexus going a little deep. They're still side by side. This is absolutely brilliant stuff. Oh, as the A-Team slides out and gets wide in the penultimate corner. Still has the chance to make it count here through the final turn. Now it's a question who gets the run to the finishing line. It's the Canadian in second. It's an impressive battle, this one. Really good stuff indeed. But I don't think it is over yet, because Formidable, I'm quite sure, has the run here. Let's go on board for the Wang Cam from the Subaru, just as the Lexus makes the move back up into second position indeed. Oh, that was close. That was closer than close, but no contact. It's a shame that it's almost impossible to overtake here into turn 2, because just as you see, A-Team also maybe being a little too close almost to the car in front. Anyways, let's have another look at that lengthy battle from behind. All starts out with Formidable getting a little bit of a poor exit from that opening chicane in the final sector, and then this one really close all the way through. Formidable going wide, but keeps it side by side. Then in the next one, it's A-Team who goes wide. A-Team then gains the position through the corner. Formidable, though, with the run down towards the start-finish line and the slipstream there, able to retake the position. And so it still is a close battle indeed between these two. That's A-Team getting a slide on. But seems the Subaru able to put down the power anyways, even to Mr. Clutch. Nice to have you along. And might we just see yet another move this time? A-Team yet again going for it, taking second position. What a good battle we're seeing here. Just keeps on giving. Behind here it's Ledford race car, and behind them it's Damon, but there's a little bit of distance back. So but a good close battle also between the number 19 AMG Mercedes of race car, and in turn the number 9 car of Ledford, who might have a run though, although he's packed out on the outside down towards the chicane, the big braking zone coming up here. Might be some kind of cutback attempt, although it also difficult to get working. Although Ledford goes a little deep. Well, that's of course race car going deep, and Ledford now in a really good position to actually take this place into the final corner. Here it comes. And does make it count. Ledford up into 5th in class. Indeed, CJ was in a very good position, it has to be said, until that safety car came out, and then with his contact right after the safety car went in again, well, that certainly did the difference for CJ. Let's check in on the Mad Greek. He's gained some time on Damon and the rest of the field. He's still finding himself down, but now only by 16 seconds. So seeming to have good pace indeed. So the leading trio in the 500 class still within 5 seconds of each other, so it's still quite close. There's Cross, poor soul Cross. It's been a hard race so far. Same goes for GT Racer, 17 seconds down. But on a fastest lap, also the fastest lap holder with that 128.3, but being in that position right now, it isn't going to be too much use at all. Antares, that's the solid lead of 10 seconds down to 18, who's finally been able to get rid of Formidable, it seems, at least for now. Is now nursing a 2.5 second gap, but with 10 seconds up to Antares, that's going to be a difficult one to close. Just under 20 laps of racing left to do. And Weather Systems in 4th. Just 2.5 seconds down on the other Lexus. They're Formidable, so that might still also be an open podium spot. A battle that's still to happen. And then it's another 6.5 seconds down to Ledford and Racecar, who had a battle all of their own for 5th position. Behind them and closing is Damon, and also being passed by the 500 leaders. The Flash leading and having gotten a good advantage by now. 4.3 seconds over NASCAR Fan. Angel just slotting in right behind, getting very close. But in turn also gaining a 10th or 2 through that section, through that traffic. Expertly done. This is the battle for 2nd position in the 500 class. The slipstream there, good for NASCAR Fan. Then Angel picks it up. You're on board with the NSX of NASCAR Fan for the antenna cam. Gentlemen, is space be made there from Ledford. That's good to see. The A-team, that's another second being put onto the advantage. Down to Formidable. It's kind of lost contact, it seems, with the battle in front. And Formidable at the same time is now losing time to Weather Systems. So the two Lexus is getting close by now in that battle for 3rd position in the GT300 class. Get within a second now, so Formidable. Afraid must have no. There is no problem. It's just the rubber beginning to be slightly worn. That has been a little bit aggressive. That's NASCAR Fan on corner exit sliding about. NASCAR Fan has made his way through, and that's Angel being held up. And no way through really. Has to go around on the outside. That's dangerous if the 300 car starts to slide. Oh, and that's Angel losing more time as Formidable goes wide, as Angel makes her way through. But how much time was lost? That's over 2 seconds that time around. Brutal traffic. That's also the lap time indicates 2 seconds down on personal best. That is the price you do have to pay in traffic. There isn't really any way around it, but it certainly isn't. It certainly isn't optimal at all. Angel now trying to claw her way back to NASCAR fan after that lost time through traffic. It's successful so far by clawing back at least a couple of tenths. In 4th in the 500s, it's Street King. 5th is GT Racer, but also getting closer to the cars in front. 13.6 seconds on the leader. That's not impossible to close, although it does require a very strong pace. But I think the GT Racer is up to the job, if any, because he's holding fastest lap at the moment of the 500 cars. In the 300 class, it's still Antares leading, and the two leaders just in the same screenshot here with the flash in the Red Bull GTR in front, and there in the background that third place cars in the 500 class. They've made their way safely through the most of the 300 field here with the Street King getting passed, I think, in that situation actually by GT Racer. And it certainly is GT Racer up into 4th position, gaining buttloads of time here. It has to be said, big amounts of time. We'll have to see the last lap time of the Flash. That's 1:29.7. Let's see the pace of GT Racer at the moment, which seems very impressive. If it's still in the low 28s, that's 28.5, so that's over a second on the last lap, and you see that that advantage is coming down very quickly indeed. The Okuma Lexus could very well still be in the running, not only for podium spots, top spots, but for the actual race win. The pace is certainly telling a story of quickly catching up. It's about to be within 10 seconds. Hashtag real burp. So nothing decided yet. Antares 10.6 seconds down to the Subaru of the A-team in 2nd position. It is Weather Systems in the Sedna 1 Lexus in 3rd. Formidable in 4th in the other Lexus. Then it's Ledford 5th. It's Damon 6th. Those two in the Black Rose Racing Mercs AMG GTs. That is race car as well in the AMG GT, and then behind them, but only now by 6.5 seconds. So also making a run for it, making a return, coming back ever so slowly but strongly, or ever so slowly, I'd say it's more actually steadily at the moment. It is CJ running last, having been, to say the least, very unlucky picking up damage on one of those occasions where the safety car actually didn't get deployed, and that's cost him big time so far. So the Flash still looking strong, leading by 5 seconds just about. NASCAR fan still nursing that 2-second gap down to Angel. And then in 4th, as mentioned before, the quickest car on track at the moment, with yet another flying lap on that fastest lap pace in the low 28s. It is GT Racer. Seems very determined to get a result out of this one. And that Lexus is now appearing in the mirrors of Angel's GTR. Now within 2 seconds, and on yet another purple first sector here. That's really impressive pace. It has been GT Racer with the top pace for this entire session. Was fastest in both practice and qualifying. Then was quite unlucky on the exit of turn 1 to get squirmy and then collect the front end of Angel's car. Not really anything to do since they were just very close. They were very close. They were I need water, by the way. But they were very close in that situation indeed, and it's not because I'm laughing of cars getting damaged, more laughing of my own disability to actually pronounce the word close. But anyways, it was very unlucky for a GT racer who then fell down to 3rd position, and then hasn't been too lucky for the rest of the race either, picking up more damage on several occasions. So making this return certainly is strong indeed. It's far within those 10 seconds now, 7.8 seconds down on the leader, and close to getting within the 2nd marker there on Angel in front. So that's super impressive pace indeed. Street King there, 5th position. Cross in 6th, last and 6th position in class at the moment. There's a disconnect from weather systems. That's actually really poor luck, because weather systems was heading for a podium place, heading for 3rd in class, and just taken out by a disconnect here, it seems. And that means that we're down to 13 cars running now, with the 2 GT300 cars being forced out of the race. First we lost Drifter, just down to very poor luck and a number of incidents early on in the race. Now we've been unfortunate to lose weather system as well. The flash has extended by another 0.6 of a second, and now within the last 20 laps of racing, and GT Racer having caught up to, well, both Angel and NASCAR Fan. This battle is now coming in together for 2nd position in the GT500 class. It's all still very open, and 3 different cars as well. The Honda NSX, who during the sessions here, over the entirety of the sessions actually, has been the slowest one on pace, although NASCAR Fan has been an absolute consistency beast for this race. It has kept it all cool, calm and collected so far, at least. Still defending well from Angel, but Angel has made up the time, and so has GT Racer. And I have to say, I think it's going to be difficult to defend against the Lexus, who's shown superior pace so far, at least. Oh, here on board with the Wayne cam of NASCAR Fan, as Angel just thinks about having a move up the outside. I think in turn GT Racer thought about having a move up the inside there, as Street King pits in. Into the pits. Here it is for Street King tires, fuel, and perhaps, no, just fresh tires, and that's it. And we're gonna rejoin the action here with NASCAR Fan yet again on board. Angel getting close. And the Lexus of GT Racer just a slight bit away, too far back to make anything materialize. But it is also about being patient in these situations, because surely the opportunity will arise. The question is, how quickly will it happen here, as Angel almost goes wide in through the final sector. Surely feeling the pressure this time around. Seems the NSX is quite strong in the final sector and makes it a little more difficult than you'd expect to get a good run, as Angel hits for the pit entry, and that is a pit stop for Angel. Front tires getting slightly worn there. Still over half a tank of fuel left. So more than enough fuel for the Black Rose Racing GTR. A fresh set of Dunlops, and out we go. Holding 4th position. It's gonna get close with Cross there on the entrance to turn 1, but I guess a little bit of team game comes in there. That's gonna help GT Racer in turn. GT Racer who mightn't have to pit yet again. 17 laps of racing left to do at the moment. And that's spread out that top 2 battle a little bit. Hi Pinky, hi Brain. What are we gonna do today? Same as we do every day, Pinky. What is that, Brain? We're taking over the world yet again. I think that's what they say at least. I've only seen Pinky and Brain in Danish when I was a kid, and it's quite a number of years ago. So here is NASCAR fan pitting in as well. Perhaps being a little afraid of the undercut happening from Angel. Might be a thing, a little less fuel on NASCAR fan's car. Entering here. Angel getting past here. I think that might be close. It might be closer and close, or closer than close. I do think it is advantage Angel as NASCAR fan leaves. It is. I'm quite sure. No, not yet. Well, it's going to be very close indeed here into turn 1. Just makes it out in front, actually. So NASCAR fan makes it out in front of Angel after the pit stop. GT Racer is now 2nd. It seems the pace advantage, at least against the Flash out in front, has slightly worn off. Ooh, big slide from GT Racer. Yeah, Swablu. Big up for the strategists, indeed. What happened to John? That is a good question. Here is Formidable in for a pit stop. We've had Race Car and Damon as well getting passed by CJ, who's actually now up into 4th position in his class. The Flash now pitting in from lead position, quite low on fuel, so that might be a long pit stop. We're just gonna have to check in and see. That is gonna leave GT Racer out in front. Rest of the race, now let's see. That is still around 4 seconds of advantage. Down to the following cars for the Flash. Now the big question is, will GT Racer have to pit as well? Well, going back to CJ, he had an incident following the 2nd safety car period. We've had the virtual safety car deployed twice, and after the 2nd period, actually on the 1st opening lap, I think CJ had contact with someone. He was sent into the wall. It was far away off the track. He lost a lot of time, then had to pit in. The safety car wasn't deployed because not enough cars were involved in that particular incident, and that really was extremely poor luck for CJ, who's now battling his way back through the GT300 field. As I just mentioned, he finds himself now in 4th position. He's chasing Ledford. Ledford up by 6.3 seconds in the number 9 AMG Mercedes, the Black Rose racing car, sitting in 3rd. And then in 2nd in the GT300 class, it is Canadian, the A-Team in the Subaru WRX. But by now, 14 seconds down on leader Antares. Antares, who's completed, so far at least, a last to first challenge in the GT300 field, having been both clever, wise, and lucky, I guess, plus being very fast as well. Have had the pace here on Fuji, and it's been strong work on his case. Flawlessly win it or flawlessly bin it. That seems to be the way that CJ, the words CJ live by here. GT Racer, 13.2 seconds. Be interested to see if we'll be able to pull out any more of that advantage. 13.4 seconds, so is it growing, is it not? It seems to be quite static at the moment. The Flash was purple through Sector 1, is down to being quotation marks only personal best through Sector 2. Goes a little deep here and might be losing a little time there as well. So that round of pit stops put NASCAR fan more or less into the clutches of Cross as well. There was very close. Cross has made the way. Cross has gotten through on Angel as well. So Angel down into 5th position. Ever-changing situation here in the GT500 class. With what, 14 laps left. See the gap from Ledford down to CJ, it seems to be shortening as well. It's 3.5 seconds by now. We could see that, although I think from there on up to the next GT300 car, that is almost 20 seconds up to the A-team, and then further 15 seconds I think up to Antares in the lead. That is going to be beyond, I think, even CJ to catch up to those two, unless we have something big happening, like another safety car, virtual safety car deployment, or at least just or just one of the two cars having an off, picking up some damage, having to pit, whatever. It still can become close. It's by no means over yet. But that's true, Rapid Gator. I think if we are able to micromanage the fuel saving settings, I think you can save a lot of fuel through the final sector. Since you can't really deploy full gas on any corner exits anyway with these cars. Ooh, GT Racer getting a little wide there. GT Racers actually managed to pull out the advantage. It's now 15.2 seconds, so it is looking really strong for the Lexus in front. And closing in on the last 10 laps of racing. Let's just have a look at tires and fuel. Should be possible to keep it going for those 10 laps. The question is, of course, are those softs going to die? Will they over-tire? Of course, both Flash NASCAR fan and Angel on pretty fresh tires. Cross, it's been a little longer, but the softs do seem to have very good life actually here. And what we've been seeing so far, at least, is drivers pitting in when they're actually not that worn, but that is, of course, to just not lose out too much. And at some point, of course, fueling is also needed, so that, of course, also goes into the equation. Flash has been purple through the first sector yet again. Not managing to keep up the pace of GT Racer through the second sector though. 5 seconds down to NASCAR fan who's lost a little bit of time. Angel having gotten passed on Cross yet again. And let's just go on board with Angel. Oh, it's Cross. Where? Just thinking what the hell happened. And yeah, Rapid Gator, I totally... Oh, almost a little bit of a squirm and a little bit of a nudge between NASCAR fan and CJ. Of course, not enough to damage any of the cars. And that is the overtake from before with Angel getting the run on Cross. We just see the car of Cross on the outside there. Angel up into 4th position and quickly closing in on NASCAR fans. So the battle for podium spots is by no means closed in, well, in any of the classes actually. Because Ledford here has now really gotten the company of the Mad Greek that is CJ. We're now on board with the very much Wang Cam from the AMG GT of Ledford. The number 9 Black Rose Racing Mercedes. Black Rose Racing being, I think, the only team to have entrance in both classes. CJ's car almost just disappearing under that big wing. Now we're on board with CJ here as he's all underneath the bumper of Ledford in front. Slings it out wide, tries to get the run up towards the final corner. Oh, that's really not what we wanted to see, because that's a big amount of contact between Ledford and CJ, and it's certainly gonna have caused damage. It is damage to CJ's car, and unfortunately there's damage to the car of Ledford as well. Mechanical damage for 2 cars, although I'm not sure that it's gonna cause another safety car period. Just so close before braking and not enough time to react. Perhaps Ledford braking a moment before and certainly F's out. Mostly for Ledford, I guess. The one, if any of them, being taken out in the situation, but it's always hard to place blame for the onlooker. And that's Street King passing by on the outside of this battle. Now it's also just a question of whose car is gonna be hurt the most. CJ with the front aero damage or Ledford with the rear. Ledford looks and thinks about having a move into the tight chicane, but it just isn't possible, and in turn CJ just is able to just get away. And yeah, my Rapid Gator, I mean CJ would have passed him on the straight, because that I think could be very true indeed. Still status quo, although the Flash has been able to claw in about half a second. That'll be by no means be enough, so we're well into the final 10 laps. NASCAR fan yet again with the company from Angel. Within a second between those two as well. And then CJ now with the 1.2 seconds advantage down to Ledford. I don't see any of them pitting because of the damage. I don't think they're going to be losing that much time with such a short distance of the race remaining. This GTP race car exiting the pits. Down in last position. And as I said that the Flash had actually gained time, well, it's gone the other way. Eight laps of racing now remaining for the leading GT500's NASCAR fan. Still holding on to third position, still defending well from Angel. Angel not really able to get close enough, it seems. It's been close on several occasions, but not close enough for the Black Rose Racing GTRs in the GT500 class. They're sitting 4th and 5th at the moment, with the Street King in the second of the two NSXs running today in 6th. Then it's Antares in 7th position with a healthy 18 seconds lead down to Canadian, the A team, who in turn has well, I'd say even healthier 22.6 second lead down to CJ, who's made a strong return up into 3rd position in the GT300 class. Although that contact between himself and Ledford in that battle we saw before, not a couple of laps ago even, might be subject to investigation when the race is over from the stewards. CJ getting a little wide on the exit from turn 4, and that almost got very dodgy indeed. Also lost a couple of tenths on Ledford in the situation. Damon in behind in the other Black Rose Racing AMG. Well, he's gained over a second on the last couple of laps. Might be able to make a strong return and get back on with Ledford and CJ in the battle for 3rd position in class. And that would be a very impressive late run to finish that well from Damon, though, although he goes a little wide on the penultimate corner. And that AMG GT also bears the scars of battle around the backside. He's nursing a 7-second gap down to Formidable. Formidable also for so long. He was looking so strong and was looking so good. In 6th position now in GTP race car, as mentioned not so long ago, in 7th at the moment. It's still all cars running in the 500 field. All 6 cars seemingly making their way all the way to the line. As our lead car GT Racer is on to lap, well, effectively lap 61 out of 66. So not a long way left. Just, well, he really take it down a level and just make sure that there's enough fuel in the car. Make sure that the tires won't drop off the cliff completely here on the last laps. The advantage should be enough to nurse it home. Back with the battle here for 3rd position, as Angel is yet again getting close to NASCAR fan in the NSX. And it is indeed Wang Cam time. Oh, Angel goes quite wide there, also from the exit of turn 4. It is, as I mentioned in the warm-up, it is really one of the places where you can get all cross, really sends it over the grass there. And Angel will have absolutely none of it. Let's have another look with this. That was an opportunistic send, to say the least. Big draft, and there's a big wang indeed. There it comes. Big send all the way over the grass. I think it was perhaps more incidental than it was on purpose, and that might be just to make sure that there isn't any contact between cars of the same team, although it seems it's cost Angel a little bit here, down by just over a second onto lap 62. Of course, the first lap having been the formation lap. This is why I'm consequently deducting a single lap from the counter, should anyone wonder. Oh, that's the second lap in a row that Angel gets turn 4 exit all wrong. Question is going to be enough to say we'll leave Cross through? I don't really think so. Oh, that's A-Team with a late pit stop. And that's full engine damage. That's the full package. And it's been so for quite a while. And that is what I was talking about earlier when I said we might still see a shake-up of positions somewhere along the lines. Here in comes A-Team. And where is it gonna be exiting? There it is. That was very sudden indeed. 18 down in what is effectively 5th position in class. That, I think, leaves CJ second. It certainly does. 43 seconds down on Antares. It leaves Ledford back on the podium. And Damon now just down by 3.1 seconds on teammate Ledford. So it's not over yet. Although Damon is running out of laps to get the job done in. Poor luck for the A-Team here. F's out. Can we see those F's? It was looking like a sure second place finish. And just seems like it wasn't going to be anyway. So GT Racer is heeding my advice. Seems to be lifting a little off the pace. It's now down to 12.6 seconds. But that is a rate where they can afford to lose time at. And surely it's to be taken over, throwing away race lead here late on any day. As we just saw, it's coming up to overtake a lap. The A-Team yet again. Poorest of luck. We didn't see what happened. Either it was a problem in traffic, but I don't think it was a collision. I'm sure we would have seen a GT500 car pitting in as well. We did not. So all things point to a solo accident so late in the race. 3 laps remaining now. That is absolutely poor luck indeed. As GT Racer is closing in on Damon. This is of course a couple of nerve-wracking overtakes to have to make at this time. And it is by all means just safety first, I think. Angel has gotten overtaken by Cross yet again. So the battle between the two Black Rose race cars is very much on. It is the battle for 4th position. I think Angel has to run. She goes on the outside on the entrance to turn 4 and goes through as well. And takes out a big chunk of time on Cross there, I have to say. Cross didn't get the best run through there. NASCAR fan is still right there in front. But as is the case for teammate Damon in the GT300 Merc, leading, trying to catch up to Ledford. Of course, they are sitting with Ledford in a podium spot, but for Damon's sake, well, it's a bit the same situation as for Angel here, with a relatively small gap, but quite a relatively short time to close it in as well. So that's Angel making it onto the penultimate lap. A second and a half down on NASCAR fan in 3rd position. And Cross almost 2 seconds down here by now. So that seems to have, seems Cross has fallen somewhat off the pace at this moment, at this time. CJ here in the 300s, he's in 2nd position. And Taris is far up the road. It's going to be uncatchable. Ledford hanging on to 3rd position at the moment. The A-Team in the Subaru has gotten past on Damon. And now the Flash is making his way through here. Yeah, it must be. You know what, Wake? You hear that? That's a good piece of advertising, Angel. So A-Team up into 4th. They could, or I keep saying they because the A-Team just sounds like more than one person. Could still catch up to Leadfoot, now leading by just 1.4 seconds. And might this in turn be the last lap? It is indeed the last lap for A-Team, and that of course also means that our lead car in the 500s, GT Racer, is upon the final and 66th lap of racing here. And it has been a very strong display indeed from GT Racer. It's been with a few bumps along the way, but it has been strong indeed. Has been top of the line on pure pace, and it has indeed shown for this race today. Up through the penultimate corner, the final corner as well, and it is gonna be the checkered flag for GT Racer 22 in the Lexus GT500 to take the win of the opening round of the 6th season of the VRR Super GT. Fantastic performance indeed, taking it by about 12 seconds down to the flash. I really have to wee now, it just went up for me. I'm just about to pee my pants. Just a second. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize about that, but I was getting nature calls indeed, Wake. Anyways, a big congratulations to our 2 class winners. That is of course GT Racer in the GT500 class, and Noir Antares in the 300s. There is race results for you shown yet again, and that means in a moment I'm gonna just put out the feeler real quick. 6 drivers to interview. So CJ, NASCAR fan, that's good. I take it that Antares would be down for the interview as well. Antares was not down for the interview. The Flash, that's cool. And Ledford as well, nice. Just need to have and GT Racer is on as well. Nice. Okay, so I am setting up the party. You see the blue bouncing heads? Bouncing head. The party is going on. And it's inviting time, that means. players I've met. CJ, GT Racer, Redford, NASCAR fan, and the Flash. Isn't that about it? So invites are out to the interviewees. I hope they can see him. We have the first joinee. The Mad Greek is along with us. Good evening, CJ. We have the Flash here as well. And good to see that the party works. I had some issues with it earlier. I think it was because it was private. I think we have everyone in. Let's start with well, from the top of the cake. I was just about to say GT Racer winner of the GT500 class. An eventful race, to say the least, for all drivers, for you as well. Very hectic through turn one. Talk us through that incident.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just trying to follow the train and stick in there for a bit, and then, I don't know, I just got hit from behind, but it is what it is, you know. Eventually we were able to recover from it, fortunately, so that's always a good thing. And that was an awesome race. I had a great time, and wow. It's great to be back.
Well, that's good to hear, and congratulations. I have to say the pace was right on point. You were fastest in both practice and qualifying, and really also showed it in the race. Except for the final couple of laps, maybe holding off a little to save fuel, tires, and also just to be sure not to crash, I guess.
Yeah, I was definitely coming right down to the wire on fuel, so I made sure I threw it in fuel mix too, and just rode around trying to save. But we were still running pretty competitive pace. The gap was still pretty consistent back to second place, so I was fortunately able to do that, and that definitely helped, because that one pit stop around lap 26 or whatever, yeah, we definitely knew we could try and stretch it out. It was just going to be a matter of if we could catch them or not.
Yeah, because I also thought when I saw you pitting there, it was okay. That's an interesting choice. But then right after, I thought, okay, but there is so much race still remaining that any pace advantage following that pit stop, well, it's still possible, and it turned out great. So congratulations on it in the end. We're gonna move on to second place finisher in the Red Bull GTR. It is the Flash. Well, how did those safety car periods work out for you?
The first one wasn't so bad. The second one, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I managed to make my way back to the front, but yeah, kind of messed up my fuel strategy a little bit, and yeah, it's a tough one, but that's the way racing goes every now and then. So just have to regroup and try again next time.
Of course. But did you feel like you could have gone for the win had you perhaps fueled more pitting during? Because I remember, if I can recall correctly, you did pit on the second safety car period as well. Or was it just on the first one?
I only put on the first one. The second one, I didn't want to lose too much track position. Sort of took a gamble that we might get a third, and it just didn't quite pay off. And I think I was probably good to go on fuel to the end. I did save a little bit here and there, and I was good. But GT Racer's pace once was starting to creep up, and I felt tyres were probably a wise idea towards the end. So yeah, I dived in and took tyres, and yeah, just wasn't quite able to reel them back in again.
Anyways, second place is by no means a bad result in the end as well. So grats on that, and grats on a strong race. We're gonna move on to our third place finisher on the GT500 podium, NASCAR fan. Last week on Suzuka in testing, you seem to have a setup that just worked wonders around that track. That wasn't, at least for me to see, the case today. But you made the car work with very consistent performance, and in the end, it was quite close between you and Angel battling out for that final podium spot as well. Talk us through your race, short, somehow shortly.
I'm gonna say, great battling with both the Black Rose cars. It was a lot of fun. Me and Angel went at it for probably 20 some laps, and it was just like, took me back to like season 3 and stuff, so it was really fun there. But yeah, I mean, we were really strong out of the box, and I gained a lot of time from where I was before. I think early on in the preseason we definitely had winning set up for this race, but it started to turn. Everybody else just really upped the ante, and it was we kept up. So that's what I was happy about, because I knew coming in it was going to be kind of hard to win. But then I realized how much that the clean air was worth, so it was a lot of fun staying out there after those safety cars and leading the field for a bit. So yeah, I mean, it was, man, I haven't had a race that good in a really long time. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was a great way to kick things off with a bang.
Indeed, it certainly looked like you guys had a lot of fun out there tonight, and also with a lot of turnarounds in the standings. I mean, it was a race where not before the last 5, 6, 7 laps did I feel like I could say, okay, now this is probably going to be the final standings. And even then, the A team in the Subaru Group 3 car lost it so late and picked up that damage and. So it just goes to show that it really isn't over till the fat lady sings. But anyway, NASCAR fan, congrats on a strong performance and third place. And with that, we're going to move on to the podium in the GT300 class, and our winner here with just the right mixture of luck and skill. It's Noir Antares on that top spot. I mean, somewhere Lady Luck must really have been shining down on you throughout this chaotic race today. Talk us through the start and those 2 safety car periods that really worked out well for you.
I don't know. Like at first, I was really just glad to make the start. Like I was so down after the first 2 disconnects. Like I was happy that they let me do a third one, and I didn't even care that I was going to start at the back. Like, I just want to be on the grid. Like, I just want to make the race after that qualifying. And the start, that was actually really good. Like, it felt really good. I think everyone was probably being a bit too careful around the start because everyone's so close together that I was able to get up to third in, like, the first 3 laps. But until the first safety car came out, like, it was just me trying to find my feet. Like I was really struggling. Both CJ and A-Team were creating quite a big gap in front of me. Then the first safety car came in and I was actually just gambling on it. Like I didn't have any plan for it. Like I didn't plan for a safety car to happen. I guess things just ended up playing in my hands until the end. And CJ, tough loss for him out of turn 3 on the second restart. But I guess that's racing, and I take what I can get, and turns out the win.
Well, it certainly was impressive. Last to first, it worked out wonders in the end. So big congratulations on the win for the opening round, Antares. CJ.
Yeah,
CJ, last to second, and being last quite late in the race, still managing to pull off second position in the end. It's quite impressive and a show of what pace you had today. It could have been more. I think you're left with the same feeling, or no?
Race was really tiring. The safety car procedure just didn't really help with how I wanted the race to happen. And after the second safety car procedure, well, whatever was happening the previous races happened here as well. I have no idea how from like leading the race, I've ended up in a wall. That was extremely sudden. No idea how I lost the car in such a corner. After the pit stop, I thought the race was over, but I just tried to make really fast laps like I was in qualifying. It did eventually work out, and I saved. And even though
Oh, I understand that. It really, to be honest, it really seems like it could have been more. It just occurred to me that I had to invite Leadfoot to the party as well, of course. But CJ, I mean, talk us through the start as well of the 300 class, because it did seem like it was, as Antares also mentioned, a little bit careful between you and very contrary to the 500s, where it was, of course, you haven't seen that yet, I suppose, but it became a little bit eventful with the contact between two cars that ended up also affecting the race, but it seemed quite orderly in the 300s.
Since my reputation here is not quite good in a VRR, I just try to be as careful as possible, avoiding any contact. I try to warm on the tires as much as possible during both the formation lap and both safety car procedures, and also warm up the brakes a little bit. I was as careful as possible when I was battling with AH team in 100R, I believe. I tapped in a little bit when I was going for the move past him after the first safety car procedure. I tried to let him the spot back, but he just let me. I believe, yeah, I really had to be careful, as I just didn't want to lose any time by crashing people out or picking up damage with another car. Just happened with me. So I had a good brief fight with Leadfoot until I got I got a caught off guard on the final corner when he braked a little bit early, and I picked up damage from that. That's pretty much it.
Well, it makes sense. I've sent him on for an interview as well.
Okay. Thanks for the race as well. Have to congratulate Noir as well, as he had the luck and consistency to win the race. It was a good comeback from last.
It was indeed impressive to see. But as I also said, for the 500 race, it was unpredictable, to say the least. And same goes for this. A-Team moved up to third, and Led moved to P4. So. Okay, so A-Team taking third instead of Leadfoot, then moving into fourth position instead. A little bit unlucky. Anyway, we're gonna conclude the broadcast with the conclusions of this little. It actually was quite the biggest post-race press conference we've done yet, with 2 podiums to go through. But we managed it. As well as managing the entire broadcast. Thanks to the drivers for taking part in the interviews here. Thanks to all the drivers taking part in the racing, giving us this wonderful show to put on air. And of course to the VRR organizing team, to Angel. Thanks for working with us. It's been such a great race to show. It's really been a pleasure. So just... But anyway, I'm also feeling a little tired by now. It has been a long evening. But thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks for watching. If you like what you've seen here tonight, don't remember to smash the like button on the video. And if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe as well. And with that said, until next time here on Have the Race Gone, my name is DirtenDK. It's been a real pleasure having you along. So yeah, until next time, take care, have fun, and so long.